just got to get to Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda in Greenville. Online at gatewaydeal.com.
Welcome to this week's Your High School Sports. I'm your host, Rodney Woods, along with Chris Blevins and Chris Reddick. We're here to bring you all the news across the nation and around the region. But first of all, what we want to do first, what we always do, is we have the question of the week. And this comes courtesy of Mr. Reddick. This week's question is, what was the first organized sport you ever played and why? Since Mr. Reddick gave us the question, I'm going to come to you for the answer.
Right, sure. So I was about 6 years old, and I started getting into sports. And kind of like me and Chris were talking about off camera, you kind of start diving into some things, what you want to do and what you can be good at. And I kind of got it narrowed down to, at the time, it was about summertime. They were getting out of school, and I was either going to play baseball or I was going to play soccer. And I want to play both. But, of course, it costs money to play both, and it takes time to play both. So I had to make a decision. So I ended up choosing soccer, which was just ended up being one of my really passionate sports I was passionate about. I was about 6 years old, and I played all the way through high school, and really taught me a lot being little like that and playing, and I always think back to it. But, I had to make a decision, kick a ball or hit a ball with a bat. So I don't know how I came up with the decision I did, but that's one I picked, and that's one I stuck with. So that was my very first organized sport. I think I was either 5 or 6. I remember making a choice, though. I remember being asked, like, which one do you like better? And sitting there thinking, I do remember that, but I just remember one day I was on the soccer team. So
there you go. Yep. I'm going to go with you next.
Okay, this story, you've probably heard mixed with another story with one of these questions of the week, but here we go. The sport that I played first in my career of athletics, I don't know if it was my choice or not. I really can't remember. I just remember playing it. I had just moved back from New York, and it was the summer before I was going to start school. And being in New York, all we pretty much could do is go to the park and ride our bikes. I wasn't really familiar with a lot of sports up in New York. I could run, ride a bike. That's about all I knew I could do. So when we moved to Tennessee, it was the summer before school. And all I remember is T-ball was the first sport. I don't know if I chose it, like I said, at that age when you're like 5 or 6. Pretty much parents just kind of, T-ball is one of those good sports to just test the waters. Right. Can my kid play? Right. What kind of, because it kind of tells a lot about you at a young age, T-ball. So I think I can catch the T-ball okay, but I did discover that I was going to love sports because this is a story that you probably do remember, because when I would hit that T-ball where we played, we didn't have a fence, but we had a big, long field, and it kind of had a bank that rolled off into the street. And a few times I'd hit it so hard, that ball kept rolling, it would roll off in the bank into the street. Well, I thought it was a home run, and this is where you guys can remember the story. They would always stop me at third base, and I never understood that. They would let me make a complete home run, and that would frustrate me so bad. But the other thing about that I remember T-ball is my cousin, because the parents wanted us both to play, I guess, see if we could play, and he got picked on the Yankees, which
Your team,
that's my team. And I got picked on the West Coast team, the Dodgers. So actually, I found out that there were the Brooklyn Dodgers. So I said, okay, Dodgers is cool. I like it. That was
okay. Well, when I played, I won't give my age, but we just played 3 sports. You played basketball in the winter, and then you played football in the fall. You played baseball in the summer. We didn't have soccer and T-ball and all that stuff. So you played what was there. You played baseball. You played Little League. The Little League season was over. You went in and played football. Football season was over. You played basketball. So that was it. So you didn't have a choice. You just played. So, I chose all 3. But out of the 3, probably I'll go back and you think would be baseball. I played football. Because Little League football, we played in a league that had 6 teams in our league. So we played every Tuesday. We played every Thursday. And we played Saturdays. So, you got 3 games in a week. So, you was playing more games than you were practicing. So, I loved that. So, that was mine. So, things are, if you have one, we're encouraging you to send your question in to us. Just send it in to yourhighschoolsports.com, and we'll read one off to you, because we're coming up with one from I'm going to put Mr. Blevins on the spot. Right. Next week is his week. He's got to come up with one so we can get one. Now, quick around the region and across the nation. What do you got right quick? The state's going on, right?
Yeah, the state's going on. We just want to congratulate a few teams from this past week. We had Greenville, CAK, Sevier County, and Knox Grace and Farragut all in the state tournament. So congratulate to all those teams that participated in that, and they had a great season. So we just want to make sure we mention those teams. Then we kind of go into some girls softball. We have some top 10 brackets coming out of that. So in the Division AA, we have Greenville Devils, the number 1 team in the state, which is really good. We also have number 4 in CAK, number 6 in Pigeon Forge. And then when you go into the AAA Division 1, we have Farragut, number 1, Hardin Valley at number 5, number 6, Bradley Central, and number 9, Carnes. And that just kind of runs down some of the divisions, some of the local teams we have in the top 10 in the state. That's in girls softball, too. So that's a lot of teams, guys. So mention that out there a little bit. And they're kind of going through their season. So congratulate all those teams for a great, terrific season as we get here into the summertime. And a lot of graduations happen and people kind of ending their season. So we kind of wanted to mention that for around the region this week.
What's going on across the nation?
Across the nation, always a lot of stuff going on across the nation. So much to choose from, but I have to pick one story. So I'm going to focus on recruiting.
Okay.
We're just a little over a year away from when people actually officially have to sign. But the reason why I bring up recruiting because USA Today, they went ahead and conducted their top recruits and they already ranked the college teams. And, of course, I thought it was interesting to find out where Chris's favorite team, Tennessee, stands. And right now they got them at like 33. Number 1, Urban Meyer at Ohio State. They looking pretty good right now. And if you wonder about Alabama, they got them at 3. But, all this is subject to change as the years go on. They kind of follow this up according to how those juniors finished their season last year. But this is what I wanted to bring, a story of interest. And it may involve someone special that we may have on the show, either live or on the phone. I think it may be better on the phone. But, we talked about recruiting real young. Well, I saw a couple of more stories where a running back just got offered from Syracuse. He's 8th grader, along with another 8th grade linebacker that's being offered by a few schools. But, you can't officially offer anyone until really they're a junior. But like I said, the idea of knowing a school's looking at you, remember we talked about that. But guess what? This has been going on for a long time. I talked to my dad one time, and he's about 85. No, he's about 85.
Okay.
And 1 year, when he's going to school in Alabama, they moved up to Michigan. So he stayed a year up there, and they actually skipped him up a grade, and that's an interesting story in itself. But anyway, he played sport for 1 year up there, and according to my dad, he was already being offered by a big school in 6th grade.
That's great.
The school happens to be Michigan, according to my dad's story. So this apparently has been going on for a long time, but maybe we could get my dad to tell that story on how that happened here on the show.
We got to get that. But something we were talking about off camera, and we'll continue that. We will touch on that because there's something happening over in Oak Ridge that we want to cover. So when we come back here on Your High School Sports, we're going to have a great interview with Sevier County Smoky Bear head coach Casey Taylor, and he's going to tell us about how they got to the state tournament. So make sure you stay right here on Your High School Sports. We'll be right back.
Just look at all those freshly made Krispy Kreme donuts. I'm sure it makes you want one or a dozen right now. So come visit our locally owned and operated Krispy Kreme donuts in Pigeon Forge. Our Krispy Kreme donuts are made fresh daily, our service is fast and friendly, and the taste will put a smile on anyone's face. Krispy Kreme is a fundraising favorite, so call us today to help support your school or community fundraising efforts. Our delivery truck is there when you need us. Krispy Kreme Donuts on the Parkway in Pigeon Forge.
Gotta get to Gateway.
Get Greene County's only lifetime warranty on these incredible Gateway deals. Late model crossovers like Ford Escapes, GMC Terrains, Jeeps, and Honda CRVs from only $12,900. Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda in Greenville online at gatewaydeal.com.
Welcome back to this edition of Your High School Sports. I'm your host, Roddy Woods, and on the phone with me now is the head coach of the Sevier County Smoky Bears, Coach Casey Taylor. Coach, welcome to the show.
Tell you what, I appreciate you guys having me.
Well, you're one of the staples on this show. We came to you last year a lot and the year before. But I want to ask you a question. I know last year had all the hype and all the expectations of you guys going to state last year. Didn't make it, but you're going this year. Talk about how sweet that is.
Well, it's a good feeling. There's no doubt about that. We've been able to, we've been able to take this thing a little bit farther than some places that we've been able to do in the past. Winning a region final is something that we've not been able to do, until now, and it's a big deal to get that Wednesday game. In the past, we've won some Monday games to get us to Wednesday in the region final, but then we've always lost that region final game, and losing that region final game has sent us down to Farragut, and I finally just said, by God, I don't want to go to Kingston Pike no more. I want to go somewhere else.
I don't blame you, Coach. I don't blame you.
Yeah, so this year we put a little bit more of an emphasis on it, and got in a situation to where, we had a chance to go after it and win it. And by winning it, that means you're now able to host. So now somebody had to come to us, and like I said, man, it's been a very enjoyable experience. This group has been drastically different than some of the teams that we've had in the years past. I mean, you start the season out, you're going to have some big arms. There's no disputing that. It was going to be there. That was going to be the consistent thing for us. But we weren't really sure where we were going to go with our offense. We weren't really sure where we were going to go with our defense. And, 2/3 of our team were freshmen, sophomores. There's just some huge questions. Basically, the only thing that we knew was that Ringo and Devontae and Wallace were going to be the top 3 arms. We knew that Claybo was going to be able to hit it. We knew that Brown was going to be an impact player, and Wallace as well. But other than that, we had about 8 or 9 kids that we were just kind of throwing out there. Let's just see who comes out of it. And I tell you what, we've done a good job of. I think even better than in years past. We've done a very good job of being able to truly define who our main players are. We've not made that a secret, and we've set up and established a great deal of responsibility around those 5 players, and those 5 players being Zach Lingenfelter and Devontae Matthews and Nathan Claybo, and then Charlie Brown and Chase Wallace. Those guys do everything for our team, and then we've defined more role responsibilities with other players, and we've stuck to that. And I think basically what you're doing is you're trying to teach behaviors inside those roles instead of making it all about the execution. You're making it more about the behaviors inside those roles. So how does a guy handle success, or how does he handle failure? What kind of teammate is he? Does jealousy ever creep into this particular player? We've made it more about the behavior more than we've made it about the execution. And tell you what, man, it's really worked. We've popped in some stuff with. I'm not how familiar you guys are with like Urban Meyer. Urban. We've gotten access to some of his information that he uses at Ohio State. There's a guy named Tim Knight that has it's basically a formula. It's called Above the Line.
Okay.
And what it is basically the line is the foundation, and you're trying to teach guys, or in this case, player, and ultimately the team, to be above the line, to be above the level of expectation. And Tim actually got the information to our Young Life director, who's one of our assistant coaches, Dan Ott.
Okay.
And we've implemented this into our team, and I think it's a difference maker. It's something that we've committed to early, and we've committed to it often. Again, it's more behavioral stuff, but it's more powerful than just keep your hands back on the off speed, or hit the ball the other way with 2 strikes. This is more trust, more leadership.
Okay.
It's more military in a weird way, and I really think it's been the difference maker for our team. And like I said, we've had several chances to kind of cave in and deal with some adversities through the year, but for whatever reason, we've been able to survive it, and it's actually been a very pleasurable. That's kind of a weird way to put it. It's kind of been a pleasurable group to be around. They're very coachable. It's been a very positive environment. We're dealing with a lot of young kids, so you can kind of mold those guys into the direction that you want them to go. And we're just blessed to be in the position that we're in, and want to take it a step further. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a great accomplishment to survive and advance to the level that we're at, but try to make a run at this thing, Roddy. You know what I mean?
Right, I know what you mean, Coach. And the thing that you just said, you said a couple things. It's a little bit more discipline this year, and I think that's what's got you where you're at. You had the 5 key players, and I wish you all the best down in Murfreesboro. And why don't you bring home something that we can come and show our fans that you won down there?
I tell you what, if we bring home some hardware, we'll make sure you get a chance to check it out.
All right, Coach. I know you're getting ready to get out of here, Coach. We'll touch base with you next week and see how you done down there in Murfreesboro. All right.
That sounds good. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate your time.
All right, Coach Casey Taylor, head coach of the Sevier County Smoky Bears, on his way to the Spring Fling down in Murfreesboro. We'll be right back.
Get the right services you need from a name you can trust at Crescent Center Drugs. Whether it's hormone replacement therapy or if you need to update your immunizations for flu, pneumonia, or shingles, Crescent Center Drugs has a professional and friendly staff always ready to take care of you. That's why for many years, Crescent Center Drugs has been your good neighbor pharmacy. Right now, getting your medicine is fast and easy when you sign up for the IVR system. It's simple. Once your prescription is filled, your box is scanned, and you instantly receive a phone call or text for pickup. Visit Crescent Center Drugs inside the Crescent Shopping Center.
Volunteer Chevrolet is your friendly hometown dealership, proudly serving the region for over 20 years. At Volunteer Chevrolet, you'll get great offers on select new vehicles, from Chevy cars, trucks, and SUVs. So come see the new look at Volunteer Chevrolet and take advantage of their great deals. Volunteer Chevrolet is still easy to find on 400 Winfield Dunn Parkway, Sevierville. Volunteer Chevrolet is a proud sponsor of YourHighSchoolSports.com, Sevier County.
Welcome back to this edition of Your High School Sports. I'm your host, Roddy Woods, and on the line with us now is Scotty Dykes, one of the coaches at Hardin Valley High School. But we're not talking football. We are talking football, but we're talking different football, right, Scotty?
Yes, sir.
We're talking about Little Man Stewart football camp coming to this area. Tell us all about it, Scotty.
Well, basically, Little Man Stewart, we got together and wanted to talk about having a camp for some of the youth in the area, so we wanted to start back home in Morristown, obviously, and Newport as well, and just kind of host a one-day camp where we can talk to the kids about some of the technique issues and stuff about the game of football, but also talk about some of the things that's changed with the social media and things that it kind of takes to succeed if you want to play past high school football and beyond. So,
and when you do that, it brings a little bit more to the camp when you're adding things up besides. The X's and O's are great, but you got some other things going on, like you said, the social media, because kids need to start looking down the line, don't they?
Yeah, well, the game has changed a lot, not just on the field, but off the field. From the time I played back in the late 80s and mid-80s when I was in middle school, I mean, the kids have so much more to worry about and to contend with, but with that's come the change of recruiting and how the game has changed. I mean, you got all these one-day camps that kids have to go to. They want a chance to play at the next level. And, I mean, the end that process probably starts to begin in 7th and 8th grade now. So, I mean, not everyone can play at the next level, but if you want to give yourself a chance to, you need to understand what it's going to take, not only on the field, but off the field as well. Okay, so tell us when these camps are going to occur and when. The camp in Newport is going to be June 10th. The camp will begin at 6 o'clock. We'll start registration about 6:30. About 4:30. That way we can get the kids on the field. But we do have a pre-registration process, which should be hitting the papers, and it's online now and hitting Facebook in some of those areas. And then in Morristown, we'll turn around the next day on June 11th, which is a Saturday, and the camp will begin at 10 in Morristown at Frank Marino Field, and that registration will begin about 8:30.
What's the cost?
The cost is $25 if the kids are pre-registered now. If they show up after anything after June 1st, it'll be $30. So if they show up the day of the camp, it will be $30. But we're highly encouraging everybody to pre-register so we can get the T-shirts and everything that they need to kind of participate in the camp and give the kids a little something extra.
All right, Mr. Scotty Dykes, coach at Hardin Valley High School in Knoxville. He's been telling us about the Little Man Stewart football camp coming up June 10th and 11th here in Newport on June the 10th and in Morristown on June 11th. You can go to his website or on Facebook, or you can go to yourhighschoolsports.com. We've got a link on there that you can get the registration form, and you can go to this camp. Should be a great outing, shouldn't it, Scotty?
It should be great. We've got, of course, Little Man coming back. We've got one of the guys I played with, Mo Kelly, played with the Seahawks, and some other guys that we can't say right now. But we got a great staff put together for the kids, and hopefully have a good camp on the field, but also get a little educational process and learn something else that goes along with it.
All right. Well, we appreciate you taking a minute to talk to us. We'll be right back here on Your High School Sports right after this.
The revolutionary safety of the Michelin Premier family of tires is now available for more cars, trucks, minivans, and SUVs. So whatever you drive, you can take on wet or slippery roads with confidence mile after mile. Double D Tire can help you take changing weather in stride and save. Double D Tire has been family owned and operated since 1981. Owners Tommy and Flint Carter specialize in tires, alignments, brakes, suspension repairing, and custom wheels. Double D Tire would like to thank all their customers and look forward to serving you in the future.
Just look at all those freshly made Krispy Kreme donuts. I'm sure it makes you want one or a dozen right now. So come visit our locally owned and operated Krispy Kreme donuts in Pigeon Forge. Our Krispy Kreme donuts are made fresh daily, our service is fast and friendly, and the taste will put a smile on anyone's face. Krispy Kreme is a fundraising favorite, so call us today to help support your school or community fundraising efforts. Our delivery truck is there when you need us. Krispy Kreme Donuts on the Parkway in Pigeon Forge.
Gotta get to Gateway.
Get Greene County's only lifetime warranty on these incredible Gateway deals. Late model crossovers like Ford Escapes, GMC Terrains, Jeeps, and Honda CRVs from only $12,900. Gateway Ford Lincoln Mazda in Greenville, online at gatewaydeal.com.
Thank you, Coach Taylor, and welcome back to Your High School Sports. Coach Hasey Taylor, his team last week participated in the state tournament, but he gave us a wrap and gave us how they got there, and that was what I was more concerned of, how they went from last year to this year when they were supposed to win last year, but he told us it was a great story, so, thank you, Coach Taylor. We ended on something right before the break for Coach Taylor. I wanted to talk about T. Higgins.
Right.
You talked about recruiting. T. Higgins was committed to UT, but has decommitted,
Right.
and he is one of the top wide receivers in the country.
Right. Well, I mean, it kind of upsets me being a UT fan a little bit, but then when me and Chris talked about it, kind of looking at it from our commentary side of it, I mean, he went from being like the 5th number 1 overall kind of to be the wide receiver to the number 1 overall receiver in all of high school in the recruiting class. So for him as a young man, no wonder he decommitted. But Butch still said, like you were saying, this is his number 1 priority that he's going after. They need T. Higgins on the football field come this next fall or spring, whenever we get him on there. So it's definitely on the docket. But like you all are going to talk about, I know that he has to go explore his options a bit. Well, you're not just ever number 1 every year.
Right.
So at this time of the year, it's kind of like one of those perfect things, If he probably didn't go number 1, he probably stays and just doesn't worry about it. But you go explore your options. You just named off those top teams a minute ago: Ohio State, Alabama. Doesn't, in my book, but I'm biased, but to somebody that's wanting to progress their career and go on to maybe to the NFL, which Tennessee, again, I could go into so many details how that track record could be there, but those things are proven. I can understand why he did it, but I still think at the end of the day,
he'll be back at UT.
I do, because
think so
sold
too.
Him already,
I think so too. He committed to him, but Chris said, and we both, all three agree, you got to make that visit. You got to go to Ohio State. You got to go to Alabama. You got to go to Southern California. You got to go there to see, okay, hey, UT's my first choice, and I want to go to UT, but, you know, wait a minute. Let me go down and see what Nick Saban's talking about. They win the national championships. They're putting people in the pros.
They're putting receivers
Ohio
in the pros.
State, like you said, that has the number one recruiting class in the country. Come on now. Well, you know, like Mr. Rogers from Catholic.
But it'll be interesting, though, that we've talked about on this show, though. Remember, we used to always say you never forget who first actually came to you.
Yes, that's right.
This is him, and he even chose this.
Yes,
so when he
right.
goes on these trips, it'll be interesting to see, since we've talked about it a lot, if this does still come back to Tennessee and prove that our point could be correct. Now, it could prove us wrong, because kids today, they looking far ahead. We're you know, people getting sixth graders on the college team or getting high schoolers on the NFL team. So he might be looking past, but I don't think so. I mean, he's from here. I mean, so he probably, in my eyes, probably thinks more about it than we probably think. But I think he made a good decision the first time. I think he'll come back and make a good decision, but I definitely think he just wanted to explore his options.
You got that right. Well, folks, we're wrapping up time. Our alarm system has went off. It's time
just real quick. Keith, Mr. Jennings, we got that interview like I promised you. We're going to do a special on the next show.
Yes, we are. Mr. Keith Jennings. If you don't remember him, I do. He's playing basketball at ETSU. These two bucks right here, I know they remember him. So make sure you catch next week's show when Mr. Jennings will be right here with Mr. Reddick. For Mr. Blevins, for Mr. Reddick, I'm Roddy Woods. We'll see you next time right here on Your High School Sports.
The revolutionary safety of the Michelin Premier family of tires is now available for more cars, trucks, minivans, and SUVs. So whatever you drive, you can take on wet or slippery roads with confidence mile after mile. Double D Tire can help you take changing weather in stride and save. Double D Tire has been family owned and operated since 1981. Owners Tommy and Flint Carter specialize in tires, alignments, brakes, suspension repairing, and custom wheels. Double D Tire would like to thank all their customers and look forward to serving you in the future. Get the right services you need from a name you can trust at Crescent Center Drugs. Whether it's hormone replacement therapy or if you need to update your immunizations for flu, pneumonia, or shingles, Crescent Center Drugs has a professional and friendly staff, always ready to take care of you. That's why for many years, Crescent Center Drugs has been your good neighbor pharmacy. Right now, getting your medicine is fast and easy when you sign up for the IVR system. It's simple. Once your prescription is filled, your box is scanned, and you instantly receive a phone call or text for pickup. Visit Crescent Center Drugs inside the Crescent Shopping Center. Volunteer Chevrolet is your friendly hometown dealership, proudly serving the region for over 20 years. At Volunteer Chevrolet, you'll get great offers on select new vehicles, from Chevy cars, trucks, and SUVs. So come see the new look at Volunteer Chevrolet and take advantage of their great deals. Volunteer Chevrolet is still easy to find on 400 Winfield Dunn Parkway, Sevierville. Volunteer Chevrolet is a proud sponsor of YourHighSchoolSports.com, Sevier County.